Hey Miami Dolphins fans, ready for today's bombshell news and red-hot last-minute rumors? Buckle up because today's story will leave you jaw-dropped, so let's dive right in without further ado. Well folks, the Miami Dolphins off-season drama continues to unfold like a high-stakes TV series. Just when you thought the roster uncertainty couldn't get any more intense, we've got breaking developments on Jalen Ramsey that might have you reaching for the panic button or maybe the whiskey bottle, depending on your coping style. Our star cornerback Jalen Ramsey appears to be heading for the exit door after just 2 seasons in Miami. General Manager Chris Grier confirmed during his pre-draft press conference what many fans feared. The Dolphins and Ramsey have agreed to explore trade options. Translation: the divorce papers are being drawn up, folks. But here's where things get mysterious. When pressed about why this separation is happening, Grier went full politician mode. He claimed it wasn't contract-related, and technically Ramsey didn't request a trade. Though agreeing to explore trade options seems like splitting hairs, doesn't it? It's like saying, I'm not breaking up with you, I'm just exploring options with other people. Come on, Chris. According to Grier, this situation has been brewing for some time. After several weeks of internal discussions between us, Jalen and his team, we decided it would probably be in the best interest of all parties to move forward, Grier explained. He emphasized these decisions aren't made quickly or lightly, and that they spent a lot of time this off-season working on this. But here's the million-dollar question that Grier danced around faster than Tyreek Hill evading defenders. If it's not about money, why would Ramsey want out just 2 years after being traded to Miami, back to his Florida stomping grounds? And why would the Dolphins willingly part ways with arguably their most talented defensive player? When directly asked, Grier went full lockdown. I'm actually going to keep those discussions internal. I'm not going to talk about that here. Talk about a smokescreen that would make even the best defensive coordinator proud. What we do know is that Grier has already spoken with multiple teams about a potential trade, though the timing remains up in the air. Could happen before the draft, during the draft, or after. When asked if there was any possibility Ramsey could remain on the roster for 2025, Grier didn't immediately dismiss it. But let's be real. Once this kind of news breaks, there's rarely any turning back. From a financial perspective, Ramsey has 4 more years on his contract, but his guarantees end after 2025. His salary for next year sits at a hefty $24.2 million all guaranteed. If traded before June 1st, his cap hit would jump to $25.2 million for 2025, but Miami would receive draft compensation for this year. A post-June 1st trade would reduce the cap hit to $6.7 million for 2025, but push $17.5 million onto the books for 2026. If this trade happens, it would be the 3rd time Ramsey has been traded in his career after previous stops in Jacksonville and Los Angeles. That's starting to create a pattern that potential trade partners will certainly notice. So what could Miami get in return? Realistically, a 2nd-round pick might be the ceiling, considering his age, contract situation, and apparent wanderlust across the NFL landscape. The fallout from this potential move cannot be overstated. The cornerback position was already a concern after veteran Kendall Fuller was released in February. Beyond Ramsey, the Dolphins' cornerback room resembles a college reunion more than a proven NFL unit. We're talking Storm Duck, Ethan Bonner, Cam Smith, Roy Cooper Jr., Isaiah Johnson, Jason Mater, and Artie Burns. Not exactly a list that strikes fear into opposing quarterbacks. This potential departure adds to an already concerning exodus of talent. The defense has already lost Calais Campbell and Jevon Holland to free agency. Offensive tackle Taron Armstead decided to retire after 12 seasons. And let's not forget the ongoing uncertainty surrounding Tyreek Hill's situation. It feels like the Dolphins' front office is playing a high-stakes game of Jenga, pulling piece after piece from what was supposed to be a contending roster. The question becomes, how many more pieces can they remove before the whole structure comes crashing down? The timing of this news couldn't be more critical with the NFL draft rapidly approaching. Does this make cornerback an even higher priority now? Will Johnson or Jody Barron suddenly look a lot more appealing with that first-round pick? So what do you think, Dolphins Nation? Is this the right move for the future of the franchise? Or are we witnessing the dismantling of what could have been a championship-caliber defense? What should Miami prioritize in the upcoming draft now that cornerback has become an even bigger need? And most importantly, how much more roster turnover can this team withstand before championship aspirations turn into rebuilding reality? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from every passionate fan out there. And if you're enjoying these exclusive Dolphins updates with all the behind-the-scenes analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single development as this dramatic offseason continues to unfold. Hey Miami Dolphins fans, ready for today's bombshell news and red-hot last-minute rumors? Buckle up because today's story will leave you jaw-dropped. So let's dive right in without further ado. Talk about laying your cards on the table. Miami Dolphins GM Chris Grier just revealed exactly what it would take to pry superstar receiver Tyreek Hill away from South Beach. And let's just say the price tag would make even the wealthiest NFL owners think twice. During Tuesday's pre-draft press conference, which was already buzzing with the shocking Jalen Ramsey trade exploration news, Grier faced the inevitable question about Tyreek Hill's future with the organization. His response was crystal clear and brutally honest. If someone wants to come and give me 2 first-round picks, then we'd consider it. But right now it's not something we're looking at. 2 first-round picks, folks. That's the magic number. That would open negotiations for the 8-time Pro Bowler. And honestly, who could blame Grier for setting the bar that high? Since arriving in Miami via trade from Kansas City in 2022, Hill has been nothing short of spectacular on the field. The Cheetah has eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards in both seasons wearing aqua and orange, cementing himself as one of the NFL's most dangerous offensive weapons. But let's address the elephant in the room. It hasn't exactly been smooth sailing for Hill off the field lately. Just days before Grier's comments, Hill found himself at the center of headlines following a domestic incident at his Florida residence. According to police reports, Hill's mother-in-law called authorities concerned about her daughter Keita's safety. The situation reportedly began with a discussion about therapy after Hill returned from practice and escalated from there. When reporters tried to get Grier to elaborate on the incident, he firmly declined, keeping his focus on football matters. This is the latest in what has been a turbulent few months for Hill following Miami's disappointing 8-9 season that saw playoff hopes evaporate. Remember back in January when the Dolphins' season ended with that deflating loss to the Jets? Hill stunned reporters and fans alike with his cryptic "I'm out man" statement that sent social media into a frenzy. While he later apologized to the team for those comments, it certainly planted seeds of doubt about his long-term commitment to Miami. The 2024 season was undoubtedly frustrating for everyone in the organization. What started with Super Bowl aspirations quickly derailed when quarterback Tua Tagovailoa suffered yet another concerning concussion in Week 2, sidelining him for several crucial weeks. Without their field general, the offense never found its rhythm, despite Hill's individual brilliance. Yet through all the drama and speculation, Grier maintains that Hill wants to remain in Miami. This is where he wants to be, the GM stated confidently during Tuesday's press conference. From a pure football perspective, keeping Hill makes all the sense in the world. Despite turning 31 next season, the speedster shows no signs of slowing down. His connection with Tagovailoa, when healthy, has been one of the NFL's most productive quarterback-receiver duos. Breaking up that partnership without an astronomical return would be malpractice from a front office already facing scrutiny for other potential roster moves. The contrast between the Ramsey and Hill situations couldn't be more striking. While Grier confirmed active trade discussions for the star cornerback, he essentially hung up a not-for-sale sign on Hill with that 2 first-rounders price tag. It's a number so steep that only the most desperate contenders would even consider making that call. This stance from Greer reveals the organization's thinking about its championship window. Despite last season's disappointment, the Dolphins clearly believe they can bounce back in 2025 if key players stay healthy. Trading away your most explosive offensive weapon would signal a rebuild that the team simply isn't ready to undertake. The question now becomes whether Hill can put the off-field distractions behind him and focus on football. One day after the domestic incident, Keita filed for divorce, adding another layer of personal complexity to Hill's situation heading into the new season. For Dolphins fans, the message is mixed, but ultimately encouraging. One defensive star may be on his way out, but the offensive centerpiece appears firmly entrenched in Miami. Unless some team gets extraordinarily desperate and ponies up those 2 first-round picks. What do you think, Dolphins Nation? Is Greer right to set such a high asking price for Tyreek? Would you consider trading Hill for anything less than 2 first-rounders? And with all the changes happening on defense, how crucial is it to maintain offensive continuity around Tua? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what every passionate fan thinks about this developing situation. And if you're enjoying these exclusive Dolphins updates with all the insider analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss